I am Paul Kevin Curtis, the subject of the Netflix docuseries Kings of Tupelo. And this is my first live podcast, so bear with me with the sound and the lighting and the effects and everything. I want to give credit to my daughter, Madison Curtis, who came over on a flash today, and she helped set up these two beautiful backdrop lights, and I ordered this Casey King sign that's flashing. I don't know if you can read it. You probably can at this point, but that's okay. So welcome everyone and anyone who is out there and able to watch. I apologize for being a little late. Had technical difficulties, some Wi-Fi issues, and some lighting issues, but we're all good now. So I'm happy to have you. I have chosen not to speak out until now, not to do anything live. I had over 300 requests around the world. Everybody but Joe Rogan requested to do an interview. People in the UK, people in Washington, Chicago, all over LA. And I stood down and I have not spoken with anyone, have not answered any questions. And literally over 300 people. So now I'm going to go over some topics that I just feel are important universally to the mainstream public out there, your everyday people. I'm not targeting entertainers or victims or whistleblowers or activists, just everyday common people like I was before all this began. So I'm going to go a little bit back into the history of my life, and just within 60 seconds, I can tell you I ran a commercial and residential cleaning business. I was married with children, a homeowner, acre and a half of land, a business, music career. I used to say I moonlight as an entertainer, but I literally almost made as much money performing as I did in the cleaning service. But I was very active, 3 to 5 shows a week, and I would integrate that with my commercial cleaning business. And so when I approached people with my business card, I would say, "Hey, I'm KC. I sing, I do impressions and tribute shows. I can do 50 impressions of the biggest legends from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, all the way up to today." And that would get their attention. Some of them would laugh and ask me, "Okay, impersonate George Jones, or, Randy Travis or Michael Jackson." And they just throw it out. I'd do it right there on the spot. And every single time I got the contract for the commercial business. So I'd come home, I got another contract, so another $500 a month. So things were going very well. At that point, we're talking about 1992. I had no arrest record in Tupelo, Mississippi, crystal clear slate. I was on TV about every month on the morning show, WTVA with Kay Bain. In fact, I mowed her yard and cleaned her house, and we became good friends, and we did around 50 festivals together. And a wonderful lady, she and her husband, Buddy Bain, took me under their wing, and we traveled to festivals, nursing homes, assisted living, private parties, you name it. Just a good life. I had a very good, productive life. Nobody would look at me and say, "I think he's got issues," or "I think he's bipolar," or "I think he's a nut job." Everyone I met would ask me, "What drug do you take? I mean, you're always so happy. You're always so upbeat. You're walking around with these headphones, singing, buffing floors, and a business coat Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, handing out your business cards." So I literally had a business card that said owner of commercial and residential cleaning business called The Cleaning Crew. At the bottom, it said ... Yes, we even do windows. and I had a commercial on Wizard 106 in Tupelo, radio station, country radio station that played about 8 to 10 times a day. Um, I think I had 28 commercial contracts and 25 residential in 1995. That's when I peaked. From 1992 to 1995, I peaked. So fast forward, life's great. I'm doing shows. People are calling me the Elvis, the King of Tupelo, the King of Tupelo. Literally, they literally call me that. And I was Tupelo's own. Since then, my brother has stepped into my place and my shoes and that taken over. So my brother Jack is now Tupelo's own, and Tupelo elite cannot stand me. They see me as a problem, as a threat, because I took on the entire industry of the hospital, healthcare, legal system, federal system, all the way up to Washington. So we'll get into the backstory. From my normal life, now you have the whole story of my normal life, married with children, successful businessman, happy-go-lucky, carefree. Everyone I meet, there's no judgment. They like me, I like them. I would never say things like, I don't like people. Yeah, I love animals over people. Like, I didn't say things like that back then. So, how did Kevin Curtis become a person of interest to the police system? Why do police hate Kevin Curtis? I'll answer that question without putting any thought into that, which I have not. I don't have to, because it's unfiltered honesty that you get from me. The police began, as you saw in the Kings of Tupelo. I'm assuming whoever's out there, you watched it. I know there's people that have not seen it. I encourage you to tune in on Netflix and watch it. It is appearing 300 million people worldwide. It was translated into 80 different languages, and I sold my life story rights for 5 years to Netflix. I have an agent in Los Angeles, California, that watches out for me and looks for different things, projects for me to do, like a reality TV show about conspiracy theories and whatnot. But I never say conspiracy theory, because I don't research conspiracy theories. I research conspiracy realities. Why do the police hate me? All over the state of Mississippi and abroad, because they see me as a threat, because I took on first the largest employer in the state of Mississippi. That's the North Mississippi Medical Center. And when I filed a $16 million lawsuit against them in 2000, I think it was March, I was told by the most powerful, high-profile criminal prosecutor in Northeast Mississippi, you're going to be a millionaire real soon. They're going to settle. I mean, we're going to get 16 million. And he brought in bankers and financial advisors with my wife and I sitting right there in his office. Now, Mr. and Miss Curtis, we're going to talk to you today because you're making what, $65,000 a year, ma'am. You're making $18,000 a year, combined income close to 100,000 with all of the music shows that you do. We've seen couples go from making $50,000 a year, and then they come into $10 million after a settlement, and they split up, they divorce. And we don't want to see that happen to you. So we're going to sit down and talk to you and walk you through this so that doesn't happen. And I'm looking at my wife, and she's like, yippee. And that's exactly what she said in the office. Yippee. And I can't wait. This is great. So that's that backstory. So we're into litigation for 2 years. And I went to the courthouse in Tupelo, and I punched in his name. And when I did, more than 30 lawsuits came up at the hospital, and it showed that he was representing the hospital. He was representing 12 doctors, 10 nurses, other staff members of I'm like, whoa, we got a problem. I go to his office, put the paperwork down, printed it out. It was like $1 a copy or something, and 30 something lawsuits. And he smiled like the Grinch and pulled out my 12-inch file and just dropped it on the desk, shook my hand, and said, "Kevin, you're a good looking fellow. You're talented. You're young. You can do anything you want to do. I'm representing a man right now that doesn't have a leg. It was ripped off. And you have everything. Forget what's happened to you. Live your life. I can see that you don't trust me." Gave me his file. We never spoke again to this day. So look at that. Take a snapshot of that. Going to be a multimillionaire, $16 million to 2 weeks later. I'll never speak to you again. You're a healthy young man. You've got your world ahead of you. Just forget you ever saw a severed head. Hello. That's exactly what he said. And we're back online magically. So, all you good fellow friends out there, as you could witness just now, I mentioned my attorney and the North Mississippi Medical Center simultaneously, and the entire Wi-Fi shut down in my home. This is what happened 3 months ago when I did my first live interview with Leah. I can't remember her last name, and I apologize if you're watching, Leah. But she had a TV show. She's a former news lady, travels all over the world, very seasoned, very good at what she does. When she interviewed me for an hour, and we touched on everything. But anyway, magically that day, the Wi-Fi for the first time in 3 years just went blink and shut down. Anytime I go live, it's like they're out there watching, and they just go snip, and they interfere with the frequency. So anyway, enough of that. Let's not give them any attention. So about the and they hate me, and they arrest me any chance they get. They harass me. They follow me. They set up staged roadblocks. Yes. Are we back on the air now? Yes. Are we back on the air now? Mm-hmm. So I mentioned the police and harassment, and my Wi-Fi went out. So this is a test run. We're going to see. I'm going to perfect this, and I'm going to get it right. No matter what I have to purchase, rent, or borrow, I will have the equipment and backups and generators and whatever I need. I'll have 3 Wi-Fi boxes if I have to, but I will be heard. What I have to say is important, is significant, and you are significant. And I will be taking your topics of what you want to talk about when and if you get ready to speak to me on the air, and we have a back and forth. You can email me at, and this is my assistant, Tanya, and my partner and my fiance that helps me with everything in life. And she's kind of been in the shadows. She's really 100% in the shadows because of her safety. I live a dangerous life. I've had death threats. I've had people send me emails that they're going to chop me up in little pieces and send my body parts to my mother. I've had people say they're going to beat my brains in with a baseball bat, hit me from behind. I won't see them coming. It's been very strategic life to stay alive, stay healthy, stay in fitness, keep myself fit to where I can defend myself when need be. So Tanya, that I will be introducing physically, you'll be able to see her later because she has agreed. She's not living in fear like a lot of people. The bad guys, they want to have, us live in fear and uncertainty and shut our mouths and go with the flow and be a robot and do what we are told to do and not ever ask questions. Wah, 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 wah. I am going to go and punch my time clock, and I'm going to work 5 days a week for my retirement plan and my 401k plan, and then get my social security check. And then all of a sudden, you get nothing, and you end up a targeted individual. And we will discuss that. How do we become targeted individuals where the police and the feds watch us? Back to the end of the email. What is the email?
I put it in the chat box.
Oh, look at that. I didn't even know that was possible, but she pulled it off. Okay, I don't know what impression that was. That voice is just coming out of me. Okay, so I turned on the news this morning. I'm sitting back like I'm a coffee drinker. I've never had coffee in my life, but I feel like one of those TV hosts, like, let me just have a sip of coffee. This is sweet tea with root of ginger and mint leaves. This is a part of my secret to staying youthful, keeping my hair on my head, and maintaining a youthful appearance. Hundreds, if not thousands, of people over the last year. How do you look so young? How do you look like you do? Because I never used to tell my age. When I was 35, people thought I was 23. I was getting carded when I was 40. And if I go into a club that sold alcohol, I would not get in if I didn't have my ID. So, and I'm not being egotistical, narcissistic. I'm not being full of myself. But this is just everyone. I really didn't think about it. Like, I didn't think about how I look as far as youthfulness until people by the hundreds just started emailing me and talking to me and calling me and writing like, what's your secret? Like, they really wanted to know the secret. So I started to think, what is the secret? So I said today I'm going to reveal the secret. Part of it is natural tea with mint leaves and root of ginger with honey. It's so good, but I've literally drank that for the last 30 years. I think my opinion, and oh yeah, my daughter said today to put a disclaimer out. Some of this is satire. Some of this is for entertainment. Watch it at your own risk and your free will. You have to, we're living in a day and time where you have to give disclaimers, legal disclaimers to safeguard you, me, industries, subjects that we talk about. My daughter brought to my attention today that there was an energy drink, and the commercial was, if you pop this drink open, you grow wings and fly away. You're able to fly away. I've never heard of that, but some man went to a high-profile lawyer and said, I popped my drink, I drank it, I did not grow wings and fly away, so I'm suing them. And he sued them, and he's a millionaire now, probably on a yacht in Florida. And it's a true story. I didn't even hear it. There's so many stories out there we don't know. So this disclaimer is watch at your own risk. I'm not here to offend anybody, to attack anybody, to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm here to speak of my own personal journey. And I appreciate anybody who listens and asks questions and is interested, because I've always wanted to make the world a better place. But living by example, leading by example, living with passion, as Tony Robbins says, and being the best you can be so that others feed off that energy, and it just completes the circle. And we have a better world. Good, bad, or indifferent. It's just a better world. So the secret of my own youth, appearance, and the way I feel and the way I live my life after being arrested 26 times falsely. I've spent about 3 years behind bars in combined sentences, and that was harder on my mother than it was me. I got numb to it after like the 10th time. I just put my hands behind my back, smiled, went there. They'd throw me in a drunk tank, and I'd be there 5 days, 8 days, 12 days. But I just got numb to it. So my secret, interestingly enough, is unfiltered truth. And for myself, I had a motorcycle accident when I was 17 years old and was driving 50 miles per hour, and my electrical system went out on my motorcycle. Couldn't see my speedometer, headlight went out, everything electrical shut down, and I hit the clutch and dropped down to, the last thing I remember is like 48. I remember, just staring down because I had a glow in the dark, and there weren't any street lights at that point for miles in Natchez, Mississippi, on, I think it was Highway 61 North. And I veered over to the right and struck a concrete curb at almost 50 miles per hour and hit the crown of my skull and literally cracked my skull. And from that moment on, I was unfiltered. Now, I was in shock and bleeding and gravel all dug into my face and whatnot. I was hurt pretty bad. And my girlfriend was hurt pretty bad. She had to have plastic surgery. But when you suffer head trauma, and especially at a young age, when your brain is still in the developmental stages, and I was just turned 17, it's my opinion that it manipulates parts of the brain cells, and the way the neutrons work, and the nervous system, and everything connects. And I just remember about 3 days later, I had a concussion, and I slept for 3 days, and I woke up, and my sister was there, and we had an apartment together when we were teenagers in Natchez, and I was unfiltered, brutally honest and unfiltered. If you asked me, does this make me look stupid? And I'd be like, kinda, yeah. Do I look fatter in this dress than this one? I'm like, oh yeah, that one definitely makes you look fatter. Without any thought, like I couldn't filter. I didn't have the ability to weigh the options of, if I say this, like the if-then principle. If I say this, then they're going to hate me. If I do that, I'm going to get fired. If I stop and pick up this stray dog that's been hit by a car, I'm going to lose my job at the factory. Now, and that happened to me in Chicago. So I literally, it's like I could not lie anymore, could not think about it. It wasn't an option. So I think being truthful and unfiltered, and I'm not encouraging everybody to go out and buy a Honda 500 XL and strike a curb and crack your skull and just be the most honest person for the rest of your life. No, I'm not encouraging that. Remember the disclaimer. But for me, that's what happened. And that's why I probably had a heart attack. I say whatever's on my mind. If I insult someone and they tell me, that hurt my feelings, or, you're an ass, then I apologize, because my mom raised me to be respectful and to give respect when it's given to me. Now, when it's not given to me, I first initially ignore. Then step two, when someone comes at me, something in me snaps. It's how I met my best friend Dwayne in the 3rd grade. He was overweight. He was from a poor family, and his toes were coming out of his shoes. And the big giant guy that had failed the 3rd grade 4 times in a row, and now he is 5'3" and 400 pounds, and he's like talking about this guy Dwayne. We didn't even know each other. It was the first day of school. And he was like, "You poor pig." I hate the way this. I'm going to fix that. I have something for that. It's in that top drawer there. It's a spit guard, and it pops. It stops the pop. But I apologize for the popping. I'll back off the mic a little bit, and I hope you can hear me out there. I can't read any of the comments that I see. You can see them. My assistant, best friend, and fiance, Tanya, can see them. She's over here. Y'all can't see her, but trust me, she's looking good. So where was I? The bully. So I stood up to the bully. This is before the motorcycle accident, but I always had a problem with people being picked on, because I was a skinny little nerd kid, and I was picked on a lot. I was different. I was quiet. I was the quietest person from kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third, fourth, all the way up. Never spoke to anyone unless I was spoken to. Never gave my opinions. I know that some of the people out there that seen Kings of Tupelo are like, he's lying. No, I don't lie. I don't lie, even if a lie will benefit me and get me $20,000. For instance, I was robbed in Greenville, Mississippi of all my music equipment one night in the I was in the Ramada Inn on Highway 82 East, and someone broke out my window and took all my speakers, guitar, amplifiers, everything but my costumes, my karaoke system, my mini CD systems, my freaking guitar, everything. It was $18,000 worth of stuff. So after I got through my trauma of losing all that in the pouring rain, I go home, I call the insurance company, and I'm telling them what happened. Is this stuff that you just keep in your house and you just took it for this one show? I go, oh no, I was fired from the North Mississippi Medical Center and banned for life. I'm doing this full time now. This is all I have. I go everywhere in Arkansas, Tennessee, Louisiana, Alabama. They go, oh, in that case, no, we're not going to cover it. I get off the phone and my wife, Laura, says, you dingbat, why didn't you just tell her? Yeah, I just took it this one time. It was a situation where I had to have it. We would have had a check for $18,000 the next day in the mail. You are so stupid. And I'm like, yeah, but that's lying. So again, yeah, it goes back. So how I met my best friend, Dwayne, I stood up for him, walked up to the biggest guy in the class, and I said, why don't you say that to me? Stop picking on him. You can see he's not going to try to defend himself. I was in third grade, like, what was I, 8, 9 years old, 10? I don't know. Can't remember, but little kid. And this guy would have pulverized me. And he backed off. And he's like, sorry, man. Jeez. He goes, sits down. And I had never had any problems third grade on. And we became lifelong friends until he passed at the age of 39. Rest in peace, Dwayne. Miss you, Double D. All right. I've given you backstory on what the cops, why they hate me all over Mississippi. So I sued the hospital. It went nowhere. My home was burned to the ground. Someone called me up at 11 o'clock on a Friday night. Hello? Yeah, Mr. Curtis. Yeah, so I'm going to tell you, I'm warning you, if you don't shut your effing mouth about body parts, something's going to happen to one of those children of yours. Click. My wife, Laura, woke up. She's like, what? Who was that? And she could tell I was red-faced and I was breathing heavy. And I slammed the phone down and I thought like 3 minutes. Do I tell her? Do I not tell her? I probably shouldn't tell her. That unfilteredness, she kept asking, who was it? Because never, we would go to bed usually 9:30, 10 o'clock. We had big days. I worked 16-hour shifts. She worked 8 as a secretary. So it was tough. We had a schedule, and I figured if I tell her we're going to be up all night talking about this, because it's a death threat on our children. And, I told her, and she's like, I knew it. I knew you should have shut your mouth about that. And we're going to end up all dead. We're going to end up killed. So she was a believer. She knew none of this was in my head. I wasn't imagining any of this. So, the police system, I went to them with this death threat. They did not try to find out where this call came from. They did not try to trace it. I did it on my own. I went and found out that it was made from an Exxon station in Tupelo, Mississippi. I found the payphone from the phone number. I went and asked the clerk inside, how often do you change out the video, your cameras? And they're like, oh, we change them out like every 3 days. And it had passed that point. It was probably 5 days before I got over there to Tupelo and asked them. But my own attorney at the time did not even try. It's like he didn't even pursue that. Someone threatened to murder my children if I didn't shut up. That's when I knew this is bigger than I anticipated. And it just gives you that moment of chills. And you wonder, what have I gotten myself into? Because I didn't know. Everybody's like, you're fighting the good fight. You're a badass. You're fighting the God. Man, we love you, man. You got the torch. Keep going. We're behind you all the way. If you ever need me. Well, when I needed them, no one was there. When I would go to court, 58 kangaroo court hearings on my mother, my stepfather, my ex-wife, and my brother when they were summoned. Otherwise, they went to work and lived their lives and never asked, why is Kevin in jail? Where's Kevin today? Oh, he's in jail again. And then they go to lunch and eat. So it became like every Friday, every couple of Fridays, I'm in jail and I never know why. So this is why there are not more whistleblowers. This is why there are not more activists. Fear, uncertainty. And I understand it. I'm not ridiculing. I'm not pointing fingers. This is not everyone's journey to become that. You do lose a lot. You sacrifice a lot. You have to be made of a certain element to just naturally take this on without thinking about it. And had I thought about it, maybe I wouldn't have taken it on if I had just sit there and waited. Now, if I file this lawsuit, I may lose the house. My wife may leave me. I may end up with no savings. I may lose my cars from repossession. My children may start resenting me. Their friends may think I'm an idiot, and their mothers and daddies may not let them come over and visit my children and spend the night and play Nintendo anymore. I didn't think about all that. I was naive. I was younger, and I just fought for what I believed in. And I would tell everyone when they would ask, why are you fighting? I'd say, this is what's right. I'm not fighting just for me. It's like a soldier in a war in Vietnam or World War I or II or Iraq or Afghanistan or any of these wars we've had. It's like you don't ask questions. You're there in the moment and you do what you're supposed to do. You're in survival mode and you're fighting for our freedoms for this country. And that's the way I saw it. I'm like, God placed me in that morgue. He knew I would get thirsty. He knew I would look for that Dr. Pepper. He knew I would find the severed head and 40 body parts wrapped in plastic with barcodes. He knew Kevin Curtis is going to ask, hey, what y'all do with them body parts? And that's exactly what it did. And it got me here. But what I would tell everybody is this is going to be on TV one day. The world's going to know my story because my story is universal. It affects everybody in the world. And not everybody can say that. If you slip on a banana peeling at Walmart and you sue and you don't win, you can't say for the rest of your life, well, that banana story, I'll tell you what, it changed the world. It's universal. No, it's not. It's a single situation with one person that affected one person and a store. And it ends there, starts and ends there. My story is your story. I get arrested, you get arrested. I'm stopped for speeding when I know I wasn't speeding. You were stopped for speeding. You were not speeding. I fought 4 speeding tickets in the last 3 years. I won every single court battle with the police and the judge. And it felt so invigorating and good to walk in with my flash drive with proof that 20 and 30, 40 cars were passing me going 20 miles an hour faster than I was. Yet a cop would get behind me and follow me 5 miles. And then me with a rear and front dash cam and me sitting there with my phone down there on the bottom recording and saying, my speedometer says 68 miles per hour in a 65 zone and 25 cars are passing me and a cop is only behind me. And then when he would pull me over, He knew who I was before he even ran my tag. He knew who I was. And that's another thing. When the 2013 presidential assassination plot happened, and I became the first entertainer ever framed in a presidential assassination plot, the whole world knew I drove a Ford Escape. Okay, a white Ford Escape, very much like the police cars. And I mean, I became a target. Like everybody knew what kind of car I drove. And so police were stopping me every other day and harassing me. So people are like, man, you hate cops, don't you? You hate cops. No, I don't hate cops. There are some good, honest, hardworking police officers out there that put their lives on the line and they're trying to do good and make this world a better place. But I haven't run into them much. I've met about 3 in 20 years. Those odds are not good. So I became a targeted individual where it just, it's like a weightlifter. He's been lifting weights 5 years. He's buffed up and he walks by, he looks in the mirror, he sees his results. And then all he can think about is, I want to get back to the weights. I want to hit them weights again. Or a boxer with a punching bag sees a bag, man, even a bag of groceries. I just want to punch that bag. When a cop saw a white Ford Escape and an Elvis license plate and some martial arts decals, man, they just start itching. I just want to stop him. I just want to F with him. I'm going to watch my language because kids may run across this. So I'm not going to be dropping the F-bomb like I did in the Kings of Tupelo. But so that's the little history with cops. It started early on. When I was 17, I was stopped by a police officer in Natchez, Mississippi. I accidentally turned on, I think it was Canal Street, on a one-way. And that guy stopped me, and I had the long hair and the earring. I was the lead singer of the rock band. And he's like, oh, I know who you are, KC, the rocker. You the rocker for the band Kicks. You think you something. Yeah, my daughter goes to see your shows. I try to do this and that, but she's just she's a delinquent. I mean, they hated me. Like cops just hated me. I don't know what it was. So early on, this started early on, and it followed me throughout my whole life. So when I sued the hospital and I found the severed head, then I became a bigger person of interest, and it was like all over the world. When the 2013 presidential assassination plot happened, I was not surprised. I had told 10 or 12 people. And one of them was Jamie K. Riley, who hired me to perform at the 2011 Jim Bowie Festival in Vidalia, Louisiana, right across the river from where I grew up, and 20 miles from Fairfield, Louisiana, where Jerry Lee Lewis is from. And we sat down, had dinner after my show, had a great performance and a great audience down in Vidalia that year. And she said, we're definitely hiring you next year in the 2012 one. You took down the house. I mean, they loved you. This was a success. And I'm like, yeah, but did you notice the 25 or 30 out of uniform police officers and law enforcement, that some of them had badges on their jeans or they had like hidden guns? She said, I did. I had never seen that before, and I've been running this festival. She was the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce. And she, I've never seen that before. Why do you think they were here, Kevin? And we were sitting there eating dinner at her house. And I said, it's because I was putting out all over the internet for months. I'm going to be down in Louisiana doing, in my home place, my hometown, right across the bridge of Natchez, Mississippi, where I grew up. I'm performing my ultimate tribute extravaganza show. Everybody invited. You're coming out. Come on out. I'm going to have 100 teddy bears. When I do my Elvis tribute part, I'm going to be throwing out 100 scented teddy bears. And so I advertise promo, big time. And all those cops, they would walk around looking at me with their hand on their gun, trying to intimidate me. I just smiled. How you doing? And nothing happened. There were no arrests. They couldn't arrest me. 500 people right there watching. They saw I was going to follow Jamie back to her house and eat dinner. So I told her that night, I said, don't be surprised if you turn on the TV set one day and you hear Kevin Curtis has been arrested. It's going to be something to do with the president, Obama, and I'm going to be like Lee Harvey Oswald, a patsy used in some kind of staged event. And she goes, don't say that, Kevin. Don't say that. And when it happened, she called me on the phone. She goes, oh my God, you're a psychic. And I'm like, no, I just knew it was going to happen. She's like, don't ever speak it into existence again. Never say anything like that. I go, no, it was commonplace. I knew it was leading up to that because they wanted to shut me up. So to all of you people out there that feel you're in a situation where you're a victim to something that has happened, something that's happening, or something you feel is going to happen in the future, think about it. Just stay in the moment and weigh all your options. Look at what you have in your life. It's very important to make the right decision. Have your ducks in a row. When you talk to a lawyer, when you file a lawsuit, many will take your case pro bono. Many corrupt attorneys will take your case pro bono, and they will get all your information because this is free. They're working for free, or $6 an hour. And then they'll take it to the opposing side, okay, the defendant. Say it's a Fortune 500 company and you're suing for $400,000, $500,000 for wrongful firing, harassment, sexual harassment, whatever. Well, there's what we call discovery. Each side gets to see discovery. This is what they have to show. This is what you have to show. It's called leverage. They will weigh the leverage. And if they feel in their mind, I'm not going to make but $6,000 and it's going to take 3 years of my life, they will in turn work a secret deal with the prosecutor for the other side. And there's payoffs under the table to make this go away. In quotes, go away. Swept under the rugs of corruption. So I'm not some guy with a chip on my shoulder. I just know the system. I know the good old boy system. I was saying the good old boy system before there was anything called a good old boy system. I should have patented that because 23 years ago, I dropped that bomb, and I'd literally never seen it in print, never heard it. I'm not trying to take credit for it now, but just looking back, thinking about it right now, people used to say, what is that, Kevin? What is it? What's this good old boy system you're talking about? It exists, and it consists of attorneys, judges, local, state, federal, your prosecutors, your assistant district attorneys, your police, your sheriff's department, your deputies, your correctional officers, your jailers. It starts from the low all the way to the top in Washington. So people that make a lot of money, that are in the elite club, the country clubs, the golfers, these people like my brother Jack, they cannot relate to this. The good old boy systems leave them alone. The good old boys don't touch people like my brother. My brother could rob the Bank of Mississippi tomorrow. He could walk in and with a gun and rob them, and the police would come to his house and he'd invite them in for coffee, and they would say, "Now, Mr. Curtis," or I can call you Jack because I have played 9 holes with you 17 times. But hey, I know this is the first. You just had a bad day. You were standing in line too long, and you thought, I'm just going to come back and rob them. I'll take care of this. I'm going to throw away the reports. We're going to throw away the dash cam and the body cam footage. And no one's going to know about this because I know you're a good guy. And what they're really saying is, I know you make I know over $500,000 a year, and you have a couple of $1 billion in the bank, and you could really cause some problems for us as a leader in this community if you follow what I'm doing. Yeah. So, but if you're the janitor, or you work at the local flower boutique, you have a big problem. I know of a man who walked into a nightclub 15 years ago and shot 5 rounds off, pointing at his wife and some men around her, and he served 6 hours in jail. A $1,500 fine was paid, and it never was talked about again. It's who you know or who you blow. It really is. I made that up. I need to patent that. Okay, let's talk about the Florida cyber threats that was on the news this morning. How many of you caught that? Fox News. There was Orlando arrest, and then a New Jersey. Who I don't know who was in New Jersey. So, Alina Hubba is a United States prosecutor that practices, I'm assuming, in the state of Florida, and this man sent her a threat. Now, I'm pretty sure it was not a death threat, but he had been creating fake accounts on Twitter, which they call X now. And over like 5 years, he's been harassing her. Now, remember when I was arrested in 2013 by every form of government, federal, we're talking about the National Guard, Capitol Police, Homeland Security, SWAT team, FBI, CIA, every branch of law enforcement threw me to the ground with machine guns and snipers. Okay. And I was innocent of all charges. Now, this United States attorney, Alina Hubba, or Haba, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name, she calls up the feds and says, I'm sorry, I feel threatened. He said this on Twitter. Well, the chief of the Orlando, Florida FBI takes the microphone and says this morning at 7:30, we in Florida do not take this lightly. If you send an email to a police officer, a judge, a FBI agent, or anybody, CIA agent, anyone working within our systems of law enforcement, and put you in prison for a very long time, this is unacceptable. You do not put fear into one of our own. We are not going to live in fear and be threatened by you. You will spend years behind. Now, this is going to get interesting. Rewind back to 2013, when I was arrested and framed and let out of federal prison and flown to New York City to be on every talk show that exists in 2 days and then flown back. The whole world was watching me. Well, someone threatened my life in an email and on Facebook, and they set up a fake account and they said, Mr. Curtis, we are watching you. We know where your children are. We know where you are. We are going to cut you into small pieces and send your body parts to your mother. End of story. Death threat number 1 out of hundreds to come. I called up the Mississippi Attorney General. It was the 7th floor, a multi-million-dollar cyber attack special unit set up in Jackson, Mississippi, the state capital. I made 14 phone calls in one day. 7 of my close friends called multiple times that day, begging for help, sending and faxing in this death threat printed out. I said, trace the IP address, find out who this is. My life has been threatened. I'm taking this seriously. I'm not going to live in fear. This is not an option. What happened? What did Jim Hood do? Former Attorney General, like Steve Holland, former state representative. Yeah, feels good. They did nothing to help me. Now contrast that with this morning. We're living in 2025. This is June 2025. Double standards. I said before I put out the advertisement that I was going to be doing my first live podcast tonight. Double standards. When Kevin Curtis, John Doe, Jane Doe, anybody else in the world, life is threatened in an email or on social media, what's done? Nothing. When I went to the police, when Everett Dusky threatened me, they said, Mr. Curtis, now ain't you in karate? Don't you have yourself a black belt? I said, yes, I've studied for years. I do have a black belt. I have a couple of black belts in a couple of different forms. What does that have to, and how do you know that? And have you been stalking me online? And it gets confrontational with me and the police officer in Tupelo. So I said, that's insignificant to what I'm telling you. This man is threatening me. He's called me at my home. He's emailed me. Here's the email printed out. Dumbass, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna beat you up. I'm gonna film myself beating you up and make an example out of you and send the tape to WTVA for them to play it to show that I beat you. Okay. I'm like, I don't even know this man. Everybody in town tells me he's stalking me. He's following me. He's asking everybody who I am, where I live. They said, why don't you boys go out? He's in karate, you in karate. Go out there and duke it out in the parking lot and leave us alone. Let us do the real jobs, the bank robbed and the rapes and the murders, the high speed chases. We don't have time to deal with nonsense like this. How dare you walk up in the Tupelo Police Department and throw this down on my desk trying to take my time up and then reaches for a donut. I never trusted in the Tupelo Police Department again. Why would I? I became my own law, okay? The only time I ever called for police is when I want to just make an example out of them and film how inadequate they are, how unsuccessful they are, how low trained they are. They're weak. They don't have the training, the necessary tools of the trade to I don't know what the word is, the operative word I'm looking for, to when you want to minimize a situation before it escalates into something bigger. They never do that. They would always come and show up and just make it worse and antagonize me and put me down and call me names and make me try to feel like maybe I caused this. Maybe just by me being alive, I make these people angry with my truth. That's why they found out where I lived and came to my home and slashed my tire and shot my brake light out with a 22 caliber pistol and shot my dog and cut my rabbit's throat and poisoned my cat. These are all things that happened. This is my everyday life. So I have very minimal respect for our law enforcement. Let's talk about that double standard. If you're Alina Habba, the United States prosecutor up in Florida, every FBI agent and every police officer in the whole state of Florida jumped on this, and they went and found that man and jerked him up out of his house and arrested him, and he may spend the rest of his life in prison for sitting at his computer going, I don't like you. I don't appreciate your politics. I don't like you because you like Trump. And whatever personal comments he made to her, that was a cyber threat, which gives 25 to life. And here's a little bit of law for you. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I don't play one on TV, but I know the law in Mississippi. Don't know the law in Florida. But universally, in general, when someone sits behind their computer in one state, say Mississippi, and sends an email to Louisiana or Florida, and it crosses the state line through the internet, that becomes a federal offense, a cyber crime, 25 years to life. Now, if you're in the same state and you send, it doesn't. That's just a misdemeanor. You're welcome. Now, you don't have to go to the library or call your local police department and get that answer because I've given it to you. Good. So, okay, thank you. Let me get over to, we've got the youth secret. I've already revealed the sweet tea, the honey, the double standards, New Jersey, and that nonsense. Okay. Back to the Kings of Tupelo. Will there be a part two? Everyone's asking me that. Thousands of people. Yeah, blowing up my email. More than likely, I can't say a lot about it under contract, but more than likely you're going to see a part two. I've already been offered a movie deal for the life story. I was offered $250,000 upfront advance by HarperCollins Publishing through a ghostwriter. And I was encouraged by my agent in Los Angeles to stand down and not accept the advance of the $250K. That bigger things were in the making, and this was going to obviously lead to much bigger things in the future, which I can see it is, and it's gotten massive attention. Even police officers are treating me differently, very nice. When I go out to eat and there's a police officer, he comes up to the table, Mr. Curtis, may I introduce myself? I'm Officer so-and-so, and I saw the docuseries, and wow, you've been through a lot, but it's a pleasure to meet you. So I appreciate that change. I can live with that. The past 25 years, not so much so. It's been rough. The death threats, the police harassment, the staged roadblocks. I've paid over $180,000 in get out of jail fees, court costs, bail bondsmen, you name it. The losses have been off the charts. Has there been any questions? You can speak. Just
No, there hasn't been any questions so far.
okay. Does anybody have any questions before I start to wrap this up? How many viewers do we have? 2?
Yes.
Well, I see 1, 2, 3, 4 right there on the screen.
That's just comments. 2 of them was thank.
Okay, well, that's fine. What happens is this is going to feed over to TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.
Correct.
So that'll be thousands because I have 5,000 followers on Facebook.
And then we're going to continue to do this each week or so and have new episodes.
I did no promo for this. I just said today, hey, I'm going to go on 7 or 8 o'clock. Now, I'm going to talk.
Right.
This is a test drive. Yeah, I covered everything on my notes, so I'm happy about that. But this is not about me. This is not a me podcast. I want this to be an us universal podcast. I want to be interactive with the audience. I want to have real people ask real questions that can get real answers. And I'm speaking from my own experience and experiences. And whatever information that I can give to you all to make your life better, to safeguard you from arrest, from beat downs, getting tased, like my friend Morgan Hilton, who was beaten down and tased, and literally she was like seeing the light, about to cross over, dying. And they're making fun of her and beating her. Multiple male officers on this one female who was a corrections officer at a jail in Tennessee. And her story's coming. But there's so many stories from so many people out there. And I've met so many really wonderful people. That's the greatest thing about the Kings of Tupelo. And I appreciate McLean Way and his brother Chapman Way for spending almost 4 years with me in Mississippi. And, they did a great job. The Netflix part 1, 2, and 3 only told about 35% of the overall story last 20 years. So there will be more to come. And I hope and I feel that the Kings of Tupelo docuseries answered a lot of questions and empowered all of you all, the viewers, with information and that can help you in legal situations and otherwise. So that's just the great thing about getting your story. I would tell everybody 15 years ago, I'm gonna get this to the top. It's gonna be a major motion picture. And a few years ago, I was offered a major motion picture deal in Los Angeles. I signed the contract. It was all going, and my corrupt two attorneys that were gatekeepers literally lost the deal. And the attorney called me up and said, I'm sorry, we don't sit on contracts for more than 2 hours. We've waited almost 2 years to get information and signatures from your two idiotic Mississippi attorneys. We don't know what you guys do down in Mississippi, but in Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, California, we cut deals in 2 minutes, not 2 years. So enjoy talking to you on the phone, Mr. Curtis. It's like I am Stuart Rosenthal and I approve this phone call. He was gone forever. So lost that major motion picture deal because of the gatekeeper fake attorneys that were hired to distract me for 5 years of my life. But that's how it goes. And we'll talk about that more in the future too. So thank you all for anyone and everyone who tuned in. I've enjoyed just opening up here in the man cave. I wish you could see more of it, but come over here, Tanya. I'm gonna move the microphone, introduce you to Tanya. There we go. Say hello. Yeah, we can pull that out. Look at this wireless. If you want a wireless, awesome, cool mic, where do you get it?
That one came from Amazon, but it's
Amazon.
What's the Vive X5 brand?
X-Vive brand. No one.
Vive, V-I-V.
V-I-V-E. Vive. X-Vive.
Yes, right there. This is the U3.
Has a pretty blue light on it.
Yes.
I don't know if you can see that, but it's an awesome mic and nobody trips over the cords and sues me.
Or for your laptop either.
Or the laptop, even the speakers could be wireless. She set me up on my birthday. Was it my birthday?
I don't even remember now.
She don't remember.
I think so.
We live a
Well, this
crazy
was
life.
Christmas.
Christmas.
Or
She gives the coolest gifts ever. And we'll talk about how we met. It's an amazing story that you won't even believe it. You'll be like, he totally made that up. But
It is all true.
it's all true. This is Tanya Nicole. Don't you love that name, Tanya Nicole? Tanya Nicole. It's just got a ring to it. Are we cute? All right, I know. I'm just fooling around with y'all. Having fun is what it's about. It's Saturday night. So I'm gonna let you go so you guys can watch Saturday Night Live. I know you're dying to see who's gonna be on the show. But I enjoyed this, opening up, bringing you into the home here, drinking my sweet tea with honey, root of ginger, and mint leaves. The secret to a youthful life.
There are links in the comments to go to different booking pages that we've created. So click on those, share those, and we appreciate all your support.
There's a merchandise link also for t-shirts and travel. What do you call those? Travel glasses?
Travel tumblers.
Tumblers. Exactly.
We could
Tumblers.
also do coffee cups or anything if anybody has any ideas or requests as well.
We're going to have t-shirts that say, I was raised on Jesus, Elvis, and cornbread, in that order, from the Kings of Tupelo. And also, the biggest selling shirt has been, I am KC and I approve this message. with a logo. But anyway, we've had fun. I hope you like the setup that my daughter helped me with today. Thank you, Madison. I know you're out there looking. Where is he? Where'd he go? But yeah, I'm new at this, so but it's going to be a wild ride, guys, and I'm just happy to do this and have the opportunity that Netflix has given me to be a voice for so many people that feel they have no voice and they're disempowered and scared and worried and whatnot. So that's what this is all about, to help everybody, help myself, you help people, and the circle goes around and makes the world a better place. All right, I'm KC, and this is
TC?
No, you're not KC. You're Tanya Nick. Oh,
I said TC.
Oh, TC. There you go. KC, TC. All right, and we got little baby Jonah that's running around. I don't know where he is, man. He's quiet. Well, he's with his nay and pop.
Yes.
And we appreciate them for helping out and making this possible tonight. So thank you all, and I hope you all have a safe Saturday night. And everybody, when you pop your fireworks, if you have fur babies, give them some calming tablets. It will help them not run away. You know, they'll get hit by a car. So some of my fur babies ran away when the Netflix crew arrived. And they set off $1,500 worth of fireworks. I never saw 2 cats again and a dog. My dog Jake, that I had every day for years. Like, where's Jake? He never came back. He's like, you gonna pop some fireworks without telling me? I ain't never coming back to UKC. And then my cat, Jasper, one-eyed wonder, she was like, meow, never coming back, meow. That's how it was. And I love that cat. And and Oscar was like, I ain't coming back. So we lost them. So I'm just telling you, be mindful of the popping the fireworks. Be very, very careful with them. Just be mindful. And the fires, you know, everything is dry. We've had drought, and then a few minutes of rain. But so let's not have any fires that kill people and kill animals. And
don't drink and drive. Be safe.
Do not drink and drive, especially if you're in Mississippi. There's 100 roadblocks waiting. They are waiting, and they want to meet that quota, and they want to arrest you. And if you're female, they want to touch you. Let's just be honest about it. They want to frisk you very slowly in a very mindful manner. My left hand's going to be on your hip for about 9 minutes, ma'am. My right hand's going to be on your shoulder, and I'm going to be rubbing downward towards your feet.
And if you do this, then I might not write you a ticket.
Yeah, if you're nice, Miss Jones, we might let this one go.
And take advantage of the situation.
Tanya can tell you about some situations with police officers. Oh, we could get deep. And we're actually finishing a book that's going to be coming out, and I had to add about 4 chapters with Tanya's story. She's got things to say to help people out there, and when she gets to talking, it's like a Paula White on crack. I mean, she can put Paula White out of business.
Is that supposed to be a compliment?
It is.
Oh.
See, people don't know. When my so-called attorney stepped in to get me out of jail in 2013 and said, I know you didn't do it. I'm going to get you out. She was the gatekeeper. But I told, and Chris Como was interviewing me, this narcissistic ass. And he was all full of himself, Mr. Curtis. And I said, this beautiful blonde-haired, blue-eyed angel got me out, saved my life. I'm indebted to her, you know. And I mean, it was all fake. It was just all staged. But Tanya, and I said, you know, this attorney is a warrior. She's the best of the best. But like Tanya, when she starts talking, her dad was a preacher. And she gets that honestly, like she'll preach a sermon to you, but it'll hit you. Like you'll feel it like Mike Tyson, like Iron Mike Tyson just hits you in the heart and soul. Like, she's really real. She knows what she's talking about. That really happens, and that's the way it is. And Man,
And we both just want to be able to help others through what we have both been through. And so through this podcast, we hope to be able to do that as well and share our stories to let others be able to maybe feel more comfortable to share theirs as well and to help give people hope through life.
hope is important. Hope empowers, and hope helps you live a longer life. And so I kept her in the shadows from safety. I just wanted to keep her and the baby, their identities, who they look like, their, whatever.
And neither one of us have any fear.
Yeah, no, we don't live in fear. She definitely has no fear.
And Jonah doesn't either.
Our baby Jonah, he's gonna take the world by storm. When you see baby Jonah and see his personality and his wit and his charm, oh my gosh, like everywhere we go, people stop us and they have to hold him, and he's reaching, he jumped into a police officer's arms at a Mexican restaurant in Tupelo one night a couple of months ago, and the police officer was like, okay.
He just hugged him.
And Jonah's like, are you one of my grandpas? Like he's 2 years old and he's looking into this guy's eyes, he's hugging him, and I'm like, wow, well, he's not prejudiced against the boys in blue. KC's not raising them to hate the boys in blue, but he loves everybody, and you're gonna love him, and he just loves everybody. He loves all of y'all too.
Every nurse at every doctor's office and the doctors, and
we'll have a 30-minute doctor visit, and we're there 2 hours because they're running hunting for candy and toys. Oh, let me have this. Can he have this? Can he have this? Can he take this home?
And he just runs and jumps in their arms.
Yeah, he's just an amazing person.
He gets that from his daddy.
He and mommy. Mama with no. Isn't that something how it does that?
Yeah.
Yep. Wi-Fi. But you all have a good night. We're signing out.
Yep.
Enjoyed it. What do you